Welcome to a Milk Market Tidbit for the December Milk Production Report that USDA released on Friday afternoon. So as usual, the Milk Production Report is our first report of the month, and it kind of gives us an idea of what the future is going to hold. Then comes the Cold Storage Report, which we actually got that on the same day, and then the Dairy Products Report. So the Milk Production Report, we've got the three variables that we're interested in: number of cows, total daily production, and then milk per cow. So going into this report, this is what we thought was going to happen. This is December a year ago. This was November before any revisions. And then I put together my typical numbers by thinking that milk per cow was going to go up about 0.6. And month over month, we were going to be up about 0.5%. And that partly was driven by where normally USDA comes about 0.8%. So that would be very consistent with history. So this is actually where we came in. And actually, you couldn't ask for a better set of print numbers to the expected, because we were very, very close to the typical 64.67. Cow numbers came down to 9,351,000, which is what we thought they would, but there was some revisions in the November number. And total production was up 0.9%, so a little stronger than we thought, but again, very consistent with what USDA had in a long-term number. And when I look at this, I say there were no big surprises, and I try to interpret that into prices. What that says is, we're kind of on the same trend. We're not going to see a significant upswing or downswing in production here. Cow numbers came in at 9,351,000. That's only 3,000 cows above last year. So we get a bunch of noise in here at different times, but I think we're going to settle in, right around 9.35, somewhere in there, I think. Part of that is driven by the fact that now that we've got a full year, we can actually estimate that we ended up with about 0.72 replacements per cow. So that says we have to have less than a 36% turnover rate. And in fact, we're running lower than that at the moment. So we might gain a few cows, but we don't have enough heifers to send this thing back up to where it was in 2021. So here's our latest slaughter data. And we're really kind of settling in on this 29% total turnover rate. Now we should be just exploding this herd, but in fact, we've only come up about 3,000 cows over the year, even though we culled, 354,000 cows less than we did the previous year. This is the overall daily production. We've been on a really strong uptrend, and then for the last 3 years, it's really kind of settled out. And in fact, we normally come up just a little bit in December, and that's exactly what the model thought we would do, and we came in right where the model was. Part of all that is driven, by the federal milk marketing data, and again, we've been depooling at different times. The orange number is month over month USDA, whereas the blue numbers are month over month federal milk marketing data. Anytime you see big swings, you know that we've either started depooling or ended depooling. But when we looked at this data, we had, the midsection up 0.9, the northeast up 0.9, the northwest up 0.9, and they didn't significantly change their depooling. At the end of the day, there was about 63% of the milk pooled, so we've got a strong 37% that's out of the pool. And we depooled a little bit of class 3, but mainly class 4. I would like to throw this in for several different reasons. The main reason is looking at what we're going to be doing for depooling. And more or less for the next year, we'll be depooling class 4. But for January, these have converged so much that we probably won't be depooling much of either one. And the other number to keep an eye on is this one down here at the bottom, which is the average for the year. Anytime that is less than 1.48, going to the higher of instead of the average plus 74, and again, 74 is just half of that, says that that's a bad idea. So again, looking like as these are coming together, that going to the higher of was actually a negative for milk prices. Here's our milk per cow, kind of the same thing. We've been on this really strong uptrend, and we've really flattened that out here for the last 3 years. And the typical increase in December was right where we came in. And what we've done is we've really flattened out milk production per cow in exchange for higher components. And my prediction for the December fat test is going to be 4.47. That's up significantly from November, which is what normally happens. But given the milk production and that fat production, we're going to be up about 2.7% month over month in total pounds of fat. So this last week was a shortened week, but we did have the global dairy trade, national dairy sales report with advanced prices, and both of these reports on Friday. Next week, we're going to have kind of a quieter week, which is the national dairy sales report on Wednesday, dairy slaughter on Thursday, and agricultural prices on Friday.